Hello, happy to be here. I'm Birga Meyer and I'm one of the two managing directors of Schwules Museum, so the gay museum, and I'm really excited for the interview. The museum and the archive was founded in 1985 by a group of gay men who felt that their history and their art is not represented in mainstream museums. And also the history of the gay movement at that time, at the height of the AIDS crisis, was not commemorated in the archives. So they felt the need to do this work themselves. It was very much a grassroots founding. And actually that need for representation and for archiving our own story is still here today. So because mainstream institutions very often do not show our side of the story. Who shapes the museum today is not so easy to answer because we have so many different layers of what we do. So we are an association, that is important to know. We have a large membership and we have a board who is influential in what we do. Then we have many volunteers who actually make the museum run, and they of course also influence how this space works. And then we have the staff who is employed, who works either on exhibition or on outreach and education or in the archive and collection department. So it's quite vibrant and very many different people have influence in what we do. So in the beginning, the museum was mainly gay male narratives and stories and things that were collected. And then in a gradual process, I would say, it transformed into a queer space. And what is, I think, so special about us is that this transformation was done voluntarily. So it probably began around 2007, 2006, when Birgit Bosold entered the museum. But she was really welcomed by the founders. Mainly Wolfgang Theis and also Andreas Sternweiler were open to this shift. And that's not so common in the gay male community, that a willingness to transform was there. I think that's integral to internal change, that the people who would need to change welcome that. A shift that happens on the inside is always a gradual shift, but there are a few exhibitions, I think, or programming that we did that really visibilize this change from a gay male space to a queer space, and one would be the exhibition Homosexualities in 2013. Another example would be the Year of the Woman, which was done in 2018. It's always difficult to yourself sum up the role of your own institution, but I do think we are one of the leading institutions on queer representation, on examining gender and sexuality from a up-to-date perspective. And it's also, we are way more than just a museum. So we have the archive, we have the art collection, but we also have a big education program, we do outreach. So we really participate in the dialogues and the queer debates that are currently happening within our queer communities. And yeah, I think that's quite amazing and also very influential in a way within those debates. There are of course many impactful exhibitions, so we usually strive to do exhibitions that are relevant to individual queer communities. But one example would be Queering the Crip and Cripping the Queer. It was an exhibition that highlighted the intersectionalities between queer and disability. And for us, it was really transformative how we thought about access, about barriers to our own institutions. So the exhibition really changed not only how we do exhibitions, meaning the accessibility of the space, but also how we internally thought about becoming more accessible in various ways. The reason I think why our exhibitions explore so many different topics, be it sex work or migration, is because one key factor for us is self-representation. We want people to represent their own story, what they're passionate about, what matters to specific queer communities at a given moment in time. And yeah, it's just if people tell their own stories, then they matter. That's what makes them interesting, that's what makes them relevant, that's what makes them political also. And we're not really scared of having a political exhibition. Everything we do is political here. So maybe that's a benefit we have towards some other museums who are like, "Ooh, let's not talk about sex work." That's not really what we're about. In our programming, we also attempt to do things a little different than mainstream museums because we try to give access to people, so they can be curators, but they can also be activists, they can be just people from communities who want to tell a story. And we make the process, how we decide what is shown here, transparent. So we have a programming committee, and twice a year people can apply for exhibitions to be developed. And that way we get voices from the community that might not be in our direct network, but we also enable people to just say, this is something I would like to show, it's something I would like to do.